Alright, Binding of Isaac time. I'm gonna talk about a few things. The first one is Brady's hitting regression. I'm really, really bad at this game, by the way, and so, that's just something you're gonna have to live with if you want to watch this. And I'm sorry. So it's been 11 seasons, which means Brady is finally starting to die. Not die, but not be as good as he was before. Something I noticed after a lot of seasons is that TPE doesn't really matter. It gets made out to be a big deal. I noticed this a while ago, but it gets really frustrating because so many people retire their players after they had to leave for a season or something, and then they come back and their players still like LaShawn King. That's a perfect example. I think King was still like a top 10 player, maybe top 20 in his what's it called, draft class? But he came back, retired his player, and then I mean, obviously what happened, but oh shit, there's a heart back there I need. Retired his player when it was still really good, and then made a new one, and it's like, man, you could have had a really good career still. And honestly, what happened with King isn't super uncommon either when you come back. Like, you get people that come back and for one reason or another are like, no, I'm just gonna be inactive again. And obviously he got like thrown out of the league by everyone for reasons that may or may not seem silly to people. But other people will come back and just like remember how much work it can be to be in SHL and go inactive because of that. And it's like, if you would just come back for and not even have to try, you don't have to get every bit of TP possible. Really, it's just for like being like, I have a lot of it. Because you can make players with lower levels of TP and still have a really good player. But yeah, guys come back and they're like, I'm gonna get everything, and then they burn themselves out, when really, sim leagues, unless you have ample time or are super committed, are best left being casual things, like otherwise you're just, it becomes work. My cat's sitting in front of my monitor, I can't see everything right now, and you stop having fun, and there's no point to it unless you're having fun. So, anyway, Brady has hit regression. So he's gonna have less TP, and that kinda sucks, because I've put a lot of work into him over the past, gosh, it's the 7th month of the year. I think I came, was it September? So it's been almost 2 years. And it's been a lot of fun most of the time. A lot of times it's been a little either boring or stressful, but I'd say overall it's been a good time. And now the more fun part is starting, which is me trying to, what the fuck? My hearts are gone. I thought I picked some up. Which is trying to make sure he is around for as long as possible. So that's gonna be a thing. Because I want to break the records in Edmonton for games played and points. I don't think I'll ever break the hits record because I never really put anything into checking until this season. And even now I have free TPE that I don't want to put into it because I kind of feel like it just causes a lot of penalties, and I wanted to make Brady a similar player to Dennis Chalowski, who's a player who I don't claim to be nearly as good at, but who I like to model my game after, at least in real life. So I think I've got 77 checking right now and close to 40 banked TPE at this point that's just freely available for use, and then some other amount of banked TPE that's for other attributes that I could probably use on it. I need a key. Shit. So you're probably not gonna... I'm probably gonna earn a good amount of TPE back over the season. I think you get around 200 a season if you're max earning. And, you know, you look at other players like Mike Izzy especially, who still, as a season 35 player, is around 2,000-ish. I think he was at like 1950 at the end of this season. So with that in mind, I'll probably be still around where I'm at right now. Paralysis? Shucks. Ooh, that's good. I need 2 keys. I think you can use bombs on those doors though. I don't quite remember. Keep that for later. Holy crap. 3 keys. So I guess the main thing here is that Brady's not going to go away for a while, and he's probably going to stay in Edmonton. And if a GM trades me out of Edmonton, that'll be pretty sad for me, because it's not what I want. I hate these guys. It's so nasty. Like, first of all, spiders are gross. But then you got these guys, like, coughing up spiders. That's just a gross concept. And one that I certainly don't need in my head. I guess the outlook for my build in the future, I'm trying to get points, and I don't think I was always a pass first player. I think I built Brady as a shoot first person in the minors, but I could be wrong. But I think I'm gonna prioritize defense, passing, and skating. Because for skating I want to not take penalties. Passing is going to be my primary way of getting assists. Obviously. That kind of goes without saying. And then skating, no, I just said skating. Defense is of course the all-around stat that everyone increases, because it's just a god stat. So I'm getting pretty dang lucky in this run. A lot of good power-ups. I don't remember if I can open this with a bomb, but I'm gonna try it. Oh, damn. No keys for me. No chests for me. So maybe I should look at what Alonso Garbanzo was like as a regression player. And maybe I should just put all my TP into checking this off season before regression, just so I can give myself the option of increasing my checking past the threshold, the minimum that regression requires. Because I know once you, for strengths, if you dip below 90, you can't go back above 90. And then for other stats, it's like if you go below 85 after hitting regression, you can't go back above 85. So that's gonna be, I don't know, maybe later on I want to make him a really good defensive player. So I should give myself the option of increasing his checking again. But checking is a weird thing. It's based on the sim and the, what's it called, the settings we have in it. It seems like there are only two ways of getting a turnover, and that's through hitting the puck off of somebody or intercepting a pass. So I just wonder about checking, like, is it actually good to increase it because you get more turnovers through hits, or are the penalties that you take so hurtful to your team that it's not worth increasing checking? And at this point with Brady, I'm not really willing to... Yeah, I think that decides it. I'm not going to increase checking because I'm not really willing to spend the TPE or time on learning about that. But with my next player, I'm either going to make a defensive forward or offensive centerman. So if I go defensive forward, I can definitely test that out. So maybe in another 4 years we'll know about that. So I have to make the player, and then I have to get him to a point where he's good enough to play in the SHL. And make a difference. Dang. This guy's difficult. What's that? Mom's coin purse. Ooh. Mom's a pill popper. That's good. Health. Oh. That was mean. So really, what you may have learned from this is that Brady's gonna be around for a long while, and you're gonna have to deal with that, and I'm gonna get told that my player is a perfect example of why regression needs fixed in the SHL. And I agree with it, that it should be, but the arguments against making regression more harsh is one, you can't really compare old stats to new ones anymore if we do that, which would really suck, because two things SHL has going for it is its history, as in it's been around for a long time, so you can look at old stuff and know that it's going to be around even longer based on that. And of course, how big it is, because as toxic as it can be, how big SHL is definitely helps it succeed and keep people wanting to be in it. Oh, what's this? And the other thing I was gonna say is that honestly, it takes a lot to stick around for a long time, and people complain about people like Essa, or eventually I'm sure Mike Izzy and Alonso Garbanzo, but really, over the course of 50 seasons, you basically right there have Yager, Lidstrom, and Gretzky. And honestly, I'd say that's pretty comparable to how the NHL has been in the past. Like, you've got a lot of players that don't stick around super long, like normal. And then you've got those three sorts of players that stick around for an unusually long time, like Lidstrom, Gretzky, and jeez, that other fella I named. I don't remember, but you know, it's not like it's the norm for everyone to have like 30 season players. Most people have pretty normal length careers. So yeah, it could be harsher, but it's not as if these guys are huge difference makers, and it's not like they... ESA was a bit much. 28 to what season? 40? No, gosh, not even. Like, that's only 20 seasons, I think? I don't think it's actually as crazy as I used to think it was. And honestly, I do think it's a little good for the health of the league, because people will say they're taking a roster spot from another player, but it really just makes it so we can expand more, and I think expanding is definitely good for the league. Get off my leg, cat. You get more teams, and that just means more roster spots. And the goal should always be for the league to grow, right? So, you know, why would you not want these people sticking around for a long time? If it got to the point where someone was around for like 40 seasons, then that's kind of ridiculous. The fact that they can stay around that long is pretty silly. But then it's like, alright, respect for the dedication, you know? So I think I've talked about everything I can when it comes to Brady hitting regression and whatever tangents that could lead to. So maybe now I'll talk about how disappointing the Blizzard's end to the season was again. Because we obviously don't have as good of a team as we had in the past. Like, it'd be silly for anyone to think that we did. I mean, when we won the cup, we had Fletcher, Petruski, Cherkowski, Smith, and a lot of really good players, and that was like they were either just hitting regression or still in their prime. What does this do? Magician? Okay. Oh, I have purple balls now. What the fuck? And now we've got a lot of players that... Hey, kitty. Sitting on my keyboard. You're a good noodle. A lot of players that are like deep into regression at this point, and then some young players who are starting to hit their prime. So it's really been a passing of the guard for the past 2 or 3 seasons now, but it sucks that we couldn't go farther, but it seems like this season is the start of our return to at least being a contending team, but not like an expected champion. So it's disappointing. It's always disappointing to lose to Calgary, because we've lost to them so many times now. And I can't... It's got to be a lot worse for someone like Carl, who's been around for a long time and lost to them so many times. But, oh, jeez. That's a pretty neat thing. That was dumb of me. But I think it's been weird. I thought the league was all about like getting into the playoffs and getting your chance because, you know, Simon T is gonna Simon T. But actually lately it seemed like the top teams have risen to the top of the playoff trees and made it to the finals. Except for Winnipeg this season. No shade against you guys, but I'm pretty sure Nola had more TP than you this season. So I don't know why if it feels unlucky. Oh no, Mom's gonna step on me. Or put her hand on me? That sounded kinda rapey. What's over here? Oh! God, that's terrifying! Fuck this game sometimes. But yeah, we'll be back stronger next season, so it could be worse. It's nice that Muford's gonna be around for a while. That keeps our net locked up pretty tight. He's got a good goaltender. Does Mom have 3 hands? The nut is that? It's really exciting for us this season now, heading into the draft, because I believe we have pick 6 or 7, and then pick 13. So that gives us a lot of kicks at the can. See if we can get a good player, and we've done a good job as a league recruiting players recently. I think I kind of want to stop and take a look. Luke TD has a spreadsheet that shows who's updated each week, and I could be way off, but the number I remember is 566 active members this past season. Now, like, how do you define active? I don't know, I think it's like updating once every 3 weeks? Hey, let go of him. Yeah, no, stop being mean, kitty. It's half your size. So, you know, that's not, like, super active, but I think you can actually make a good player if you just do an activity check in training and, like, half the PTs. And I really think there needs to be an increase in the number, like, the usefulness of the casual members of the league. 2 of hearts. Neat. Because if we can make casual members more useful and feel like if they earn, like, say 1100 TP throughout their whole career, they're still a good player, because I think they really can be that way, then we'll see a lot more people stick with players, where as like right now they're like, oh, I'm at 700 and I'm, you know, 500 behind the leader of my draft class. I'm I've got a shit player, I should just retire. But, like, you know, that's... If they're at 700 and the leader has twice as much as them, that means that, can hit 2,000, so the leader would have 600 more to earn, right? You get about 200 a season, so that's 3 seasons. Yeah, so you could get up to 1100 if you earn 2/3 of the amount of TPE left in your career before regression, which is like a totally solid third line, maybe second line player on a contending team. So ooh, I'm wearing panties now. What the fuck? Oh, nasty. Am I inside, Mom? Dude, I'm inside her uterus. Gross. What the hell? Dude, whoever made this game was on something when they made it. So, I'm not really sure what we can do other than, like... What the fuck? Is that supposed to be, like, sperm or something? Now I'm gonna die. I wonder if I can get something from this. Yeah, because if GMs, like, made it super clear, hey, we can really use you, even when players are dead. Oh well. Pretty far behind the leader in their class in TPE, then maybe they'll be less likely to retire. And that means... what does that do? It means we have more casual members, which means we can expand. Which, you know, is good to me. Maybe some people don't think we should expand all the time. I would disagree with that. I think you should always want to have more members. Oh, no way, that's sweet. Ha! You can trade health for gold, basically. But I don't know. It's hard to create a mentality of casual members being a good thing whenever you go on the site, you see all of the hardcore members doing a ton of stuff. So I always stress that whenever a player joins the Czech team and they get in the locker room and they're like, I'm gonna do all this stuff and it's gonna be awesome, I'm gonna be the best, and I'm like, that's awesome, definitely try to do that. But I always try to like get them to temper their expectations and realize that like it's a lot to do, and if you don't end up being able to do everything you said you want to do, it's okay. Because it's a grind, for sure. And I think that's actually helped, especially with like off and shiny. Maybe that's just how they are, like they knew, not knocking them, but like it's not like they're earning everything possible. But they seem to be okay with that, which I'm happy with. Wow. Look at all that. That is tasty. Oh my gosh. Ooh, why are my eyes so far apart in this? Huh. So, oh, that's why my eyes are up wide apart. Gosh, this blows. So, oh, it got fixed. Nice. Yeah, basically losing in the playoffs, disappointing. We'll get them next year, hopefully. Kitties. Stop biting each other. Yeah. Alright, up next, I guess with the playoffs being almost over. Holy crap, dude. They just, like, jump on each other. It looks like they're really... I know they're playing, but it looks painful when kitties bite each other. So, with the playoffs being almost over, the IHF is coming up, and that's exciting, because more hockey. So, my goals for this season, not have such a shitty season like last one. That'd be super awesome, because we came in with super high expectations. Like, last season was by far the best team. Hey, stop it. That Czechia had, I think, since I've joined the team. And probably since I joined the site. So, to see us do so poorly really sucked. But, you know, these things happen. We'll bounce back, hopefully. It seems like we've got a pretty good... Fuck, I'm gonna die. A pretty good group to be in. I can pause this and take a look in a second. We're looking at... Let's see. Oh, is the index up? Yeah, it is. Alright, so we're looking at Norway, Austria, Sweden, Finland, Latvia, and Switzerland. So we don't have to play Canada, USA, Ireland, or Great Britain. Obviously Austria is going to be good. And Norway is no slouch of a team. Latvia definitely confuses me, because I feel like every time I look at their roster, they don't really have a good goaltender, but maybe they transferred somebody? Let's go take a look. The goalies are, this season, Ushakov and Sorokin. So that's a season 46 and another season 46. Yeah, their goalies have 483 TPE and 315. So I just don't see, yeah, one of them is at 350 as well. I don't see how they can really compete with that, but you never know. Sweden, I never know with these guys. They have a top tier goaltender in Katavild, however you say it. Obviously Hippo Passimus and CrossFit Jesus and Danny Forsberg are really good. But I really don't see a lot of top end talent there, other than that. Switzerland, of course, is going to have a rough time. They're just a new team, so it's going to be a while for them. Finland? Wazzy, Jones, Itakalo. They're pretty good. Of course, Kalju and Scoop are good. But they seem like a one-line team to me at this point. It looks like they're missing wannabe Finns player in the lines. So he's another good one. And who's Scotty Croftling? He's their starting goaltender, season 42. Okay, so he's got about 1,000 TB, so that's good. So they're gonna be another alright tandem. Really? If Czechia doesn't make it into the medal round this season, that's like a worse disappointment than last season, because I feel like at least last season we were up against... Oh god, is this the same? I think it's the same groups. Yeah. I still think that's true though, because this season our team is supposed to be even better. We still have Zajac and Viscotch, but they're the only ones regressing. So like, they're a little worse, but everyone else on the team is a little better. Oh, that's not where I wanted him to go. So yeah, they lost about 200 TP each, maybe. Probably a little less than that, maybe 150. But everyone else on the team got 150. Where? 150 TB. So it's like, you know, again, there's really no excuse for us losing. What we got here? Balls of Steel. Oh. Alright. What's up, Larry? Living like Larry. We'll see what happens. I think it's pretty wide open this season. Ireland is finally starting to come down to earth. By that I mean regress to the point where someone has a chance of beating them. Oh my gosh, kitties, settle down. Ooh. Yeah, let's do it. Can you do this? So if I lose these 4 hearts, I die. That's awesome. Oh. Huh. Well, I don't know what to think now. There we go. Yeah, but if I have to choose a team to win it, let's see. I think my guess is gonna be Austria. But yeah, they've got Biddies, Von Matt. The thing, Richard Fist is a really good player, but his really high checking makes him a huge negative. Oh, it looks like he changed that up. His checking is only 80. So maybe he doesn't take as many penalties as I thought. Ireland. The thing with Ireland is that even though they're not like super top end anymore, even though they still have, of course, Lavelle, Fletcher, Rockefeller, Watson, Jack Tanner, Liam O'Callahan, John Toner, and Roman Augustus, like, those are all players that used to be super, super good. And now, maybe they're not at 2000 TPE, but they're still all at like 1500-ish, or maybe a little lower. Which is basically as good as 2000, so... I'd be pretty miffed if I saw them in the finals again. But I can see it being them and Austria in the finals. Trickle, charge, or going with power. We'll do this one. Dang. I need a bomb. How do I... Oh, I can't actively use that. It has to... It's passive. Okay. Oh, okay, a kitty's in the way of my monitor again. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Austria and Ireland in the finals. And I'm gonna hope I'm wrong, and it's Czechia versus... Go with Canada. Screw Canada. Especially since Keegan just went back there. Why would you go to such a milquetoast place? Like, who goes unassigned and then ends up at Canada? Couldn't be me. I told him to go to, was it Switzerland too? But he's like, nah. Silly. On an unrelated to SHL note, I went to this place called Pancheros, which is like, it's like the same thing as Qdoba and Chipotle, but when you get a burrito and you get all the fixins inside, they don't just like put it on there and then roll it up. They give you your fixins, and then before they roll it up, they take this little paddle thing and they mix around everything in the burrito so that when you get a bite, it's not like all cheese or like all the meat. You get a bite of like everything all in once, and it's just vastly better. I don't know why they're the first people to think of doing that, because it makes a huge difference in the quality. So yeah, Pancheros, you've been endorsed by Brady McIntyre of the SHL. Oh, I gotta check my phone. Let's take a look. Yeah, gotta pick up the lady pretty soon. Can I see how long this recording is at? 43 minutes. Yeah, alright, we'll go the full hour. So, talked about Brady, Edmonton, and Czechia. Let's weigh in on the whole PenKnight situation, because I haven't talked about that enough yet. So, you know how people make fun of, like, it's current year? You can't say that. Well, you know what? People might think that's silly, but it's true. It's not the 1950s anymore. You know, like, you could say that before. The year actually does matter. Like, it's silly to think otherwise. How can anyone, like, look at a woman these days and go, you shouldn't be able to do that? Like, it's not like we're Neanderthals anymore, you know? Like, what's this do? We're not like scavenging for food, and we're not fighting mammoths or whatever. We're not fighting tigers. Yeah, people have guns and shit for that. So like, there's nothing that having testosterone in your body helps with anymore. Oh, I guess I can't donate anything else. Kitty, you're on my keyboard. Get off. And like, sorry, but having a dick is really nothing special. I'm not saying I'd rather have a vagina because fuck periods, but like, you know, other than periods, what's the difference? That's an interesting song. So yeah, if you think that women shouldn't be able to do something, you deserve all the shit you get at this point. And people are gonna be like, alright, well that's his opinion, so like you shouldn't be able to shit on him. I disagree with that, but you know what? Even if you're on that side, you don't have to necessarily agree with him, but you think that he should be able to have his opinion and not be reprimanded for it. Okay, fine. But if people say they disagree with you and make it extremely obvious that they're really strong about that opinion, and it's the vast majority of people, and you double down on it, then that's like your house being on fire and you going, I wonder if gasoline will help. You know, like, you know, he's apparently around 50. I've heard anywhere from 30 to 50, but I don't know his actual age. But like, there's no excuse. He did it to himself. And like when I messaged him on Discord, and I was like, "Yo, is this actually how you feel?" I was like giving him an out to be like, "Nah, that was a joke," and like be like, "Maybe I shouldn't have said that," but like, nah, I don't actually think that way. But he was just like, like even just be like, "Yeah, that's my opinion, and I'm sorry if people disagree." But nah, he was totally like, basically fuck ladies is what he was saying. And I just don't get it. Like, my fiance is my best friend, and when she shows an interest in hockey, I love it. She used to watch my games in high school, and that was so awesome. I loved it when she would watch it and ask me afterward, like, just questions like, why'd this guy try to punch you in the face? And I'd be like, I don't know, I told him to fuck off or whatever. Double shot, buddy, dude. I'm getting little friends left and right. And I don't know, like, why would you not want women to enjoy hockey? I don't get it. And it's like, oh, well, he just doesn't want them talking about it. And it's like, well, that's the same thing. So, I don't know. He's by far clown of the month and probably clown of the year at this point. So, and I hope things are fine in his life. Because, you know, people are going to be like, well, he's on a forum. Maybe that's not how he is in real life, or like, he might say, like, he might say, this is just a forum, I don't give a shit, my life is great. But I think a lot of the time, people who think that way about 50% of the population probably have it pretty rough, especially when it comes to, like, if you're racist, it's like, alright, you're racist, you don't get to talk to people of a different race. And if you're in America, really not a big deal for you. There's a large population of white people, or pretty much any other race that you can hang out with. But if you're sexist, unless he's either asexual or gay, he's probably also missing out on having a relationship with a woman, which, forget about the sexual part of it, the companionship. If you're missing out on that, I feel bad for you. Because I've got, like, my dude friends who I talk about certain stuff with, but pretty difficult to confide in someone that you're not having a real committed relationship with. So, maybe that's just me, but I just don't get it. Women are great. Women should be able to do whatever they want. On that note, I gotta get in the car and go pick up the lady from school. Not fucking high school weirdos. It's she goes to law school, so it's not like college either. She's 6 months older than I am. So if you were gonna make a weird joke like, ha, Cal's dating a girl in school, what a creep. Nope. False. That's stuff about SHL and my player in Czechia and PenKnight. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.